Hello and welcome to Breathwood. My name is David Yates, and I want to start by saying thank you for all of your incredible support after I posted my recent video, Playing What I Feel. I still feel like a wreck, but I want to move forward. And so today I want to talk about the toot some more. It's been like a week of tooting. So I've actually learned some really amazing things, partly from playing Andrea Furlan's Didge, and a review of that is still coming, partly from teaching it a bunch of times to different students and watching and hearing what they do, and just exploring my own anatomy. So let's start with this. If you're a beginner and you cannot do the toot, sometimes what I would suggest is this. Okay, and I've seen other teachers suggest this. You can tuck the bottom lip and that will pop the drone up to a toot. It's an okay technique to hear the toot and just to know that you can do it, but it's not good enough. If you want to switch between drone and toot, then doing this with your bottom lip is not very efficient. Okay, it's not super practical. More efficient would be to take our lips and increase the pressure and decrease the pressure. So I started working on that. This is the drone and the lips are vibrating. Then the toot I thought could just be a little tighter. That's partly correct. I am thinking of simply squeezing down a little bit more. If you're a beginner with toots, you might pass through all kinds of awful sounds. You might also overblow. And you might miss the first toot and shoot past it to a higher toot because you're using so much pressure. As with the drone, where you can be very soft, you can also be very soft with the toot. What that means is that it's not about insane amounts of pressure. It means the right position, the right amount of pressure to get a higher vibration. One thing I teach very often in the World Music Store is that bigger objects vibrate more slowly and have a lower tone. Smaller objects vibrate faster and make a higher tone. So if you think of the tubes of a chime, the big tubes vibrate more slowly and make a lower sound. Small tubes make a higher sound. Big lip position, lower sound. Smaller lip vibration, higher sound. You can even hear it right now. Lots of movement. A big section of lip is moving. Less movement. Okay, big thing, big movement, lower sound. Slower movement, lower sound. Smaller thing, faster movement. Higher vibrational speed, higher sound. So let's try this. Here's the drone. That's how much lip is moving. Now here's the toot. Now I'll try to switch for you. Can you see what's going on? If the lips are like this is the fleshy part that usually vibrates. This pink area. That's called the body of the lip. I just learned this today. When you toot, you not only squeeze together a little bit, but the lips can pull back together, not just one. This is why this works. Pulling back helps increase the vibration, and it decreases the amount of lip that's vibrating. Instead, pull both lips back slightly to move the vibrational point of contact closer to this edge, which is called the vermilion border, I believe, at least on some of the diagrams I looked at. Vermilion, red border. Maybe that has to do with lipstick, I'm not sure. So you pull the lips back. Here's a big exaggeration. Think of pulling back toward this edge on both lips. So from Can you see how less of the pink is showing when I do that? So think of pressure and pull back, pressure and pull back. Higher. More fleshy. Okay, so think of really full lips for the drone and tighter, smaller lips for the toot. One thing I've noticed is that the area that's vibrating really does start to feel smaller, like it narrows in to a small point that's actually causing the vibration. You do this with the flute. To jump to a higher octave, you take the airstream and you make it narrower so the amount of air doesn't change as much as the speed of the air. We're doing that with the vibration. Okay, so let me know if that's helpful or not. The next step is to practice this. When I first learned the toot, I used a t and a p sound together to get it. That's how I put it in rhythms. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's not wrong. But if you want to practice it with efficiency in mind, it's important to take the T sound away, the tongue completely out of starting the drone and the toot. Use just your breath, so it would be more of a huh. That's just huh and toot. Ha. Just ha. And you can put a circular breath at the end of it. You could do something like ha, 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 circular breath, ha, 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 to a ha, ha. Or do, do. I don't find that this didge gives me the best toot sound, or at least I'm not that good at making this one toot. Something like an Andrea Ferlandage is a whole other story, largely because, well, the mouthpiece is the right size for my lips. It's custom sized, which is awesome. And the top part of the neck is quite narrow. You won't hear this as loudly, but you will hear it a little bit. Way easier. This didgeridoo is actually teaching me a lot about things like the toot because it is so responsive. I don't have to work so hard. So now I'm learning what's going on. Drone toot, drone toot, drone toot, do do. I suggest keeping it as simple as possible for now. No extra articulation, not too fast. And you have to remember, you're switching from somewhat relaxed to tighter to somewhat relaxed again. In the dance style called popping, don't know if you can see that well. The quick stop of this sort of robotic style dancing has to do with a quick muscle release or tension, boom, and then release. Boom, 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 boom. It's the same with the lips. They go relaxed, tight, relaxed. So I often find it's easy to get to the toot. People find it's easy to practice the toot by itself. But you heard there, I went higher, and then I came back to the toot and missed it. Same often with toot to drone. So you could flip it in your mind and go toot, drone, toot, drone. Toot, drone, toot, drone, toot, drone, do, do, with breath. I guess that could be another thing to practice. Toot, 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 drone with breath. Toot, 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 drone. Toot, 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 drone. Lots of options. So as long as you remember the concept that the thick, full part of the lips are vibrating for the drone, and you squeeze equally and pull back slightly to minimize the amount of area, then you'll be on your way. You don't need tons of air or tons of force. If you're using tons of force, you're training yourself to do it wrong or in a more difficult manner. Play long, quiet toot notes. Play multiple toot notes to get your lips ready and accustomed to that, and then drone, toot, or toot, drone, toot, drone. So let me know if you have other suggestions for how you practice this. If you've integrated toots into your playing really smoothly, I want to know how. I probably can learn from you as well. So mention that in the comments. Let me know if you have questions. If you're successful, I'd love to hear that too. Let me know. And as usual, check down below in the description for all of my online presence. Didgeridoo Learning Community, Breathwood page, Patreon, and more. I'm also redesigning my website, and very soon that will be a place where you can see all of my YouTube videos in one organized fashion. Yeah. Thanks again for watching. Happy playing. Good luck. And I'll see you soon.